So previously we tore apart a battery pack for a RAID controller for an HP, and now we are going to salvage the 18650 cells out of it, see if they are any good by charging them separately and testing them, and then we will test them and measure what their capacity is, and maybe we'll be able to look them up and see by that part number what the specs are on them. So first I just removed the temperature sensor there. This is when this board is charging this, it can keep an eye on the temperature there and see if it needs to cut the charging if the temperature were to go to high. That's a safety feature, obviously. So I'm going to cut this board loose carefully because these batteries are charged somewhat. So I'm just going to go in here. I'm going to bend this metal tab until it snaps, just like that. And then I'm going to cut this one out right here. Same way, just like that. And then I'm a little bit safer now, so I'm going to go ahead and cut this one out carefully. And then finally, I'm going to take this one off. And this one I think I'm going to roll to try and get most of the metal off of it. So just going to roll it like that. You can see I got most of that off. These are spot welded. So what they do is they put a little spot welder that spot welds these metal tabs to the battery, and that's what those little dots are on the end of the battery there, are those spot welds. And usually you just mash it down on something hard and you won't get poked anymore by those. I don't really have just mash it down on the metal of this thing here. Now it's not really sharp anymore. And then the same thing here, you can see the spot welds. And then I'm going to just roll this kind of like a sardine can and just kind of roll it off there until those spot welds break, just like that. And then I'm going to mash that down a little bit and make it so it's not so sharp. There is one battery reclaimed. And then same thing here, I'm just going to kind of roll it, just kind of pop it off there, mash it down on some hard metal so that it's not real sharp anymore. And then the same thing up here. I'm just going to grab that and carefully just roll it off and just, oop, wow, there you go. You got to be careful. You saw how powerful that battery was. That thing got hot right there. See right there. So hopefully that didn't ruin that battery. But you saw how fast it melted that plastic piece there. So, and we will carefully mash that guy down. Let's see. Get rid of that. Throw these in the trash. Now let's see if we damage this battery at all. So let's get the thing here and let's see what voltage it has. It's still got 3.5 and this one I think had 3.9. So it looks like we didn't really damage it. But yeah, you definitely want to be careful with that. These can go thermal really quickly. And that's why they're banned on aircraft and all sorts of things. And why people who vape and use these in their vape apparatus can get harmed or have them burn up in their pockets and stuff if you buy cheap vaping equipment that isn't very well designed, or you use low quality bad cells. So what we will do now is we will get a charger, and I will pause for just a second while I find that. And by the magic of editing, I am immediately back with the charger. And you didn't have to spend the last 5 minutes with me looking for it when I just had it the other day. So here's the one that I just caught fire there. We're going to go ahead and plug it in. It's showing me that it has 3.6 volts. Hopefully you can see that. Now it's 3.8 and it shows that it is charging it. And I believe this says, let's see what it's saying. Oh, it's giving me the different charge levels. So I'm not in a hurry to charge this thing. So I'm going to go ahead and charge these at 0.5 amps. And here's the other one. When I put it in, it will also start to show voltage. So these look like they're pretty full. So we will let these charge. And then when we get done, we will put them in a tester. And let me show you that. I do have that handy. So this is my Chinese load tester. And what this will do is, actually turn it this way. This will allow you to plug an 18650 cell in there, and then you could set a current and a voltage cutoff, and then it will put a load on that cell until it gets down to a certain voltage, and then it'll measure the amp hours and the watt hours that battery was able to supply to that load. And then you can use that number to compare batteries, and batteries will be rated at usually milliamp hours. They'll be rated at like 2,500 milliamp hours. So when you hook it up to this load and you draw half an amp or 500 milliamps, you should be able to power that load for 5 hours if the battery's good and supplying all the capacity that it has. A lot of batteries you buy from eBay, a lot of cells, sorry I keep using the word battery when it should be cells, but a lot of the cells you buy off of eBay, they're marked as Surefire or whatever, they're usually like 300 milliamp hours, even though they say they're 2,500 or 3,000 milliamp hours. They're lying, and most of those are junk. I have some examples. Well, I did have some examples. I believe I got rid of them because they were just not worth keeping around. But yes, usually the Surefires or the other ones, any of the brands you get off eBay, unless they're LGs, and even then they could be counterfeit. So anyway, we'll let this charge, and looks like this one's pretty close to being finished. And then we'll come back and put one of these on the test and let it run.